If mornings feel like one of the hardest parts of your day, the meltdowns, the rushing, the constant reminders, you are not alone. Raising neurodivergent kids is messy, beautiful, and a lot. I'm Mary Ellen Yates, and this is Growing Together, Neurodiversity at Home. Let's figure it out together. Okay, let's get started. For neurodivergent kids, mornings stack a lot of demands. Before their nervous system has fully woken up, they have to wake up, they have to transition, a lot of sensory input, a lot of expectations. So instead of trying to force productive mornings, we work on creating regulated ones. We have a rhythm to our day with either meals as anchoring points, or if there are appointments that day, our appointments are the anchors. They know that they eat and do their morning routine. And this looks different for each kid. My second child likes to get it done as fast as possible so that he has a longer stretch to play or to draw before school starts. My oldest leisurely wakes up and eats and then quickly does the rest of his routine right before the deadline. And my 4-year-old likes to spread it out. They have fewer decisions early in the day. Their morning time routine chart does that for them. And my husband and I fix them breakfast. While they are all capable of fixing their breakfast, we noticed that they had a harder time first thing, and often they would avoid their morning routine altogether and do other things. So for us, this allows the transition from sleep to functioning go smoothly. Rhythm gives the nervous system something familiar to settle into. So let's talk about reducing transitions first. One of the biggest things we do is reduce transitions. Transitions often take energy away from us, and too many early transitions first thing in the morning can lead to dysregulation. So we've helped them organize themselves in a way that allows them to have fewer task switching. So when they wake up, they're already in their room and they get dressed. Then when they exit their room, they go to the kitchen and they eat where their breakfast is already waiting for them. Then after they're done with that, they've woken up some more, and then they go into the bathroom where they can do all their hygiene stuff, which could include, depending on the age, deodorant, brushing hair, and brushing teeth. And in the bathroom, we also have hygiene bags set up for them on the wall. So all of their stuff is contained in one spot and it's easy to find. So it makes things go smoother while they're in the bathroom. And this also gives them a predictable sequence on how to run their morning. And then if they forget, no biggie, they have their visual morning chart to look at to remind them of anything they've forgotten. So we all save energy by not asking our kids to switch gears constantly. So another big shift for us was deciding what not to force in the morning. Even though I may be ready for school earlier than our designated time, I keep that time sacred for them to use as they want to wake up and regulate. This was hard for me at first because I like to get things done as soon as possible. My high energy window is first thing in the morning. But the thing about that is it actually demotivated them to get ready in the morning if they knew that they weren't going to have that chunk of time to themselves and if I was just going to fill it with my things. We also try to avoid emotionally charged tasks. So that's going to be anything that's going to trigger a power struggle, big feelings, or shaming first thing in the morning, such as correcting behavior, discipline discussions, or arguments about responsibility. It's just not the time first thing. We also try to not pressure them with time pressure decisions first thing in the morning, which means we're not pressuring them to make decisions quickly. So the examples of this could be what to wear, what to eat, what order to do things when their brain is still waking up. Also, multi-step chores. I originally had unloading the dishwasher for my oldest as part of his morning routine because it's helpful to start the day with the dishwasher empty so that dishes don't pile up in the kitchen. But what happened was it just resulted in him avoiding his whole morning routine, and that added way more stress for my husband and myself. Once we cut that out of his morning routine, things have been way calmer in the morning. So now me and my husband just do it, and then he can help us later in the day when he's more awake with other chores. Just because something can happen in the morning doesn't mean it necessarily should. And truly protecting the morning protects the rest of your day. So instead of trying to provide a lot of verbal reminders, which frankly gets all of us a little frustrated, we've tried to build in supports that lower friction. So some of these are visual reminders. We let the routine chart be the boss, and hygiene bags hanging open on the bathroom walls, or external cues like putting clothes out ahead of time and having breakfast already on the table. So then when they see those things, they just go and do them. And simplifying steps, like I spoke about earlier with clumping tasks together by room. And then they're done. And these supports aren't about control. They're just about conserving energy. The goal for us is fewer battles, not necessarily more compliance. When mornings are calmer, everything that follows goes better. And so this sets us up for learning later. Regulation carries forward, and we are all calmer and ready to start school. Fewer resets are needed later. Our school is often more productive, and we may even finish a little earlier, leading to more free time and self-confidence for accomplishing things for the kids. This is part of why we focus on regulation before academics, because a regulated morning creates more opportunities later, even if academics start later. So for our family, this rhythm did not happen overnight, and it doesn't necessarily look the same every day either. Sometimes they are independent, and sometimes I'm body doubling, and sometimes we cuddle in bed for a little while before we get started. But shifting our focus from productivity to regulation changed everything, and actually resulted in more productivity. If you're new here, I share more about this approach across daily life, not just in the mornings. Calm mornings are not about doing more, they're about doing less intentionally. And I'm Mary Ellen Yates, and this is Growing Together, Neurodiversity at Home.